Chelsey, I can't stop reading. What did you do to me?
What?
I can't stop reading. And I think I'm in love, and he's not even real.
I know, but like...
George! So, Elana first.
Yeah. I mean, like, the writing style's a little juvenile, but it's kind of worth the read.
Alright, let's get to it.
Someone burned through the series in about 3 days.
They're really short.
And they're really good.
And George!
It's okay, we'll get to it. Don't worry. So anyways, this series, The Song of the Lioness Quartet, was Tamora Pierce's first series. She originally wrote it for adults, and then she changed it to a children's book when she couldn't find a publisher, and that kind of shows. But anyways, her goal was to write a strong heroine, and that's kind of what she did, but we're going to get to that later. First plot.
Elana and her twin brother Tom have been raised by a very distant father, and they're about to be sent off to start their futures. Tom is going to be sent to the capital to be a knight, and Elana is about to be sent off to the priestesses to learn magic and learn how to be a lady. Neither of them want their specific futures, so they propose a trade. Instead, Tom's going to go off and learn magic, Elana's going to go to the capital, and she's going to learn how to be the knight.
So, that being said, Elana now has to hide her gender, and that brings a lot of challenges, but she manages to rise to the occasion, and what she ends up doing is befriending Prince Jonathan and some of his posse.
The main baddie of this novel is Sir Roger of Cont, and everyone loves this guy. He's charming, he's gentlemanly, he's a really powerful mage, he's just perfect, and everyone loves him except for Elana.
Brutus is just as cute as Caesar. Okay, Brutus is just as smart as Caesar. People totally like Brutus just as much as they like Caesar. And when did it become okay for one person to be the boss of everybody, huh? Because that's not what Rome is about. We should totally just stab Caesar!
She keeps noticing little things, like how Roger seems to just dare Jonathan to do really dangerous things, or how the queen is slowly falling ill, or just that Roger's the only one to gain from Jonathan's death.
But the best part is Elana has a lot of challenges to face, and Roger is only one of them. She really is just dying to go on an adventure and make a name for herself in this world, and she does just that. These books cover a very wide timeline. The first 2 books cover 8 years, her time training to be a knight. And we are told she's training. We don't actually have to get dragged into the routine. We're just told the important things, and it goes the same for when she's traveling. We only get told where she's going, and then we're there. So it's straight to the action.
By all accounts, it doesn't make sense.
You can tell when reading these novels that they're Tamora Pierce's first books, and the writing style really does reflect that. But the interesting thing is that as Elana matures, so does the author's writing style, and it creates this really kind of cool parallel that kind of strengthens the book unintentionally. So Elana.
She hates everything about being a girl. She feels the need to be a boy all the time. She has a strange knack for fighting, even though she's physically smaller than all the other boys. She's a wicked magician. She picks up sword fighting like she was born with a sword in her hand. She's a badass heroine, right?
Except that Elana is the exact opposite. I feel like that's the formula these days, but for Elana, she's the opposite, and it makes her a very strong, very believable character.
Elana has to struggle to keep up with the boys, but she constantly works to improve herself.
She's a powerful mage, but it's a part of herself she really dislikes. She thinks it's cheating to use her gift, and it takes a long time for her to accept it about herself.
She's always trying to prove to herself that she's as good a knight as any man.
And the best part is she doesn't get pigeonholed into accepting one set of gender norms or another. She is a woman and a knight. When I read the books in high school, I really liked Elana, but I couldn't relate to her as well as I do now for some reason. The writing style may be juvenile, but there's something very grown-up about Elana.
It might just be all the bow chicka wow wow chicka wow wow.
I would love to have the sex with you.
For a series that was originally meant for 12-year-olds, Elana sleeps with a surprising number of people.
But it doesn't feel like it's thrown at you. It makes logical sense between the relationships of the characters.
Relationships in these books develop naturally. It's not all just...
Enough romance. Let's fuck.
This novel is like the holy grail of character development.
Characters disagree, they argue, they want different things out of life, or they just have different beliefs. And in every relationship that Elana has, romantic or otherwise, it comes off as realistic.
It's the nicest soda machine anyone's ever taken me to.
The beauty of this soda machine pales in comparison to your beauty.
Maybe it's the fact that they don't feel the need to stop the plot because two characters are having a lover's quarrel.
And there's no forever love. It's just plain old regular love, subject to reality and consequences.
And it gives me butterflies. George!
Alright, go for it.
Okay, so he's my fictional boyfriend because he's amazing. He's funny, he's caring, he's capable, he's witty, he's dangerous, he's the king of thieves, and I'm sure he probably started that whole king of thieves stereotype, and he's just so damn sweet. And we're going to get married, and we're going to have 1 million kids.
I had butterflies too. Is he kind of perfect? Yeah, he's a little kind of perfect, but you know what? He's not described as the be-all and end-all, the one man who has never had a better. He is the best by virtue of the fact that he's the type of person that Elana should be with. He's the type of person who not only accepts her for who she is, but he loves her for it.
I think the relationship is made that extra bit of sweet because he's not her only option, and that she chooses him. And it's kind of interesting that a woman who's considered strange has so many proposals.
And the best part is, Elana isn't the only strong female character. Every woman in these books is an awesome essay candidate, and they all do it differently.
Now, of course, these books aren't perfect. Sometimes, especially in the first 2 books, they can get a little bit slow. And occasionally a little bit frustrating. There are a few moments that leave you screaming, why? Why are you doing this? What's wrong with you? Do something!
What is your major malfunction?
And there are a couple of plot holes here and there, like at the end of the 4th book. What the hell was Roger's motivation? What exactly was he trying to accomplish?
That guy's brain is a bag full of cats. You could smell crazy on him.
The bottom line is these books are the stuff of legends.
Almost literally. Elana does so much awesome crap in these books that she becomes a legend in all the other books to come. People everywhere know to stay on the good side of the King's Champion. Oh yeah, did I mention she becomes champion of the realm?
All when never becoming a Mary Sue. It's a reader's wet dream.
These books should be on everyone's must-read list. If you read them as a kid, read them again now because you will take away so much from these books. And if you haven't read them, you know what? Do it because they are one of the most refreshing reads for a jaded teen lit fan, and you might even fall in love.
George!
I meant with the books. Hey guys, so we had a really hard time not spoiling these books, especially since it was a series. And there is so much going on in these books that we couldn't talk about. We really just kind of focused on Elana and how her character came out. So if you want to know all the awesome stuff that happens in these books, go check out our spoiler review.